G'day humans, Chris Stead here. Today I'm reviewing the Uniden iGo Play 10 Plus. You can see right here. I'm going to do an unboxing, I'm going to install it, and then I'm going to take it on a test run, try out all the features, let you know exactly how it goes in case you're wondering whether this is right for you. Let's go. So if you're looking at this product, you're probably looking at it for the same reasons I am, and that is to help out a car which is a bit aging. My wife's car has one of the more the traditional kind of CD-ROM style headset. It's got no screen, it's got no nav, it's very basic, and it's also broken in that you can't actually see any of the LED text on it anymore, right? So she's basically flying blind. She's got Crowded House on loop for the last couple of years. Now, this is the type of product that can come in and help. What it allows you to do is basically take one of those old kind of HUDs and then apply something that's more modern. You can see the screen on it here, and attach that to your dash and run it through your actual speakers without pulling the whole thing out and putting in a whole new HUD, which can be expensive, not just for the head unit, but also just for the installation process. You're gonna get it all around the back. So this is kind of like, you know, an easier way to achieve the same goal. So the Uniden iGo Play 10 Plus, as opposed to the 10, is the one you kind of want to aim for in Australia. The 10 Plus kind of signifies, I think it's a bit wider screen, I think it's a bit more controls, but also the Australian warranty, which is kind of critical, I think, to anything product like this. But what you're looking at here is a 10.26 inch, I think it is. Yeah, 10.26 inch touchscreen with Apple CarPlay and Android Auto, and that's going to allow you to basically take whatever smartphone you happen to have, run it through this device via Bluetooth, and then from this device it should theoretically then run through your car stereo simply through the FM transmitter, or you can connect it through an aux auxiliary cable as well to get a kind of a better connection. It's going to give you all the smartphone features, like all the apps like Waze and Google Maps and Apple Maps, and it's going to give you also voice control. It's going to give you access to Spotify and Apple Music, whatever happens to be that you're using, and give you all that kind of, you know, the modern experience on your dashboard as a new screen installation. So that's what I'm looking forward to. It costs, recommended retail price is $249 here in Australia, but I've seen it, definitely had a quick look online before, and I found it for a fair chunk under 200. So it's either come down or some decent sales around the typical retailers. So anyway, let's go and see what it looks like. So it just slides straight out here, like so. And we've got a box in a box. So there's just a bit of protective cardboard here. There's the screen, the packaging. And okay, so we've got the screen, which we'll have a look at in a sec. We've got the dash mount, which is supposed to be an adhesive dash mount. So it's a flat, oh no, it curves, which is good. One of the things I'm most worried about is how this is actually going to fit on the dash of, you know, an older car. It's a Nissan Dualis, by the way, a 2012 Nissan Dualis. We're going to be putting this in, or testing it in anyway. That's the perfect car for this. So it comes with the auxiliary cable, which is good because, you know, not many people use these anymore. It's all USB-C or wireless, Wi-Fi, and it's also got power. So the power comes through your 12 volt. So your cigarette lighter, which to USB-C, which is problematic because you won't be able to charge your phone at the same time you're using this if you charge it through your 12 volt, which we do. So that is a swing and a miss, actually. They needed to have a USB charging port on the back of this. So I'll test it properly, but that is my immediate thought is, yeah, currently my wife has a 12 volt cigarette lighter connector with two USB-Cs in the back of it to charge her phone when she's driving. And that will no longer be an option, I suspect. I don't know. If there's any way that you can adapt it. It's actually a hard connection too, see? So you can't, you know, connect this to a different adapter. We've got adhesive patches too, which is handy actually, just in case you either A, stuff it up, or B, switch cars. You're not leaving it in there. And a little owner's manual, quite svelte. Not much going on there. Some basic instructions on how to mount it. It looks pretty straightforward. All right, and that was what was in that? Oh, the aux cable. And that is that. All right, so that's what we can find inside the box for the Uniden iGo Play 10 Plus. All right, let's have a look at that screen. It's got a bit of weight to it. So landscape in the extreme, it's not very tall, but I understand that because it's going to be sitting on your dash. It's not going to be sitting where you normally have a screen in a modern car. It's going to, in fact, actually be standing kind of up on your dashboard, right? So I should point out as well, this has been, I don't know if it's actually been certified or they just know that it passes the rules so that it's not a distraction. It's not going to you're not going to get pinged by the cameras with this because your phone isn't in use, your phone's tucked away and the screen is just a screen like it would be in any other car. Right, so obviously, take this onto the dashboard, find the right spot, we adhesive it down, we screw on the back plate, which has, as far as I can see, no clear tilt on it. Oh no, you can tilt it, that's good. Okay, and yeah, and then hopefully all my wife's audio problems will be over. Okay, so yeah, that's a look inside the box. Now it's time to go put this product in the car and see how she goes. Now I'm not 100% sure if you can see those ports there, but you might notice there's also an SD card slot. So you can, I didn't pick this up at first, you can put an SD card in there with some files on it so you can play that media through the device. I wonder if that might be a way to do firmware updates as well. You can also see the port in between the USB-C and the SD card slot, and that is for a reversing camera. So you can plug a reversing camera in there if you've got one already installed, and it will get the reversing camera on the screen as well. So it's a way, I guess, of getting that functionality into your older car. But obviously that's all sold separately. Okay, so I started the installation, and you can see here I put down a pad. The adhesive stuck well. This is all stuck well. Now you can see I've got it off angle. So my original thought was I'd put it dead straight like you do. And it does have a bit of tilt on it. Like this does kind of tilt, it's very marginal. It's not probably enough. I prefer a bit more flexibility with it, but it does. But what I noticed is that while it tilts left and right, you can kind of angle it a little bit. When it's at the extremes of kind of left and right, it doesn't tilt as far back. And what we would prefer is there's probably, I don't know, good 20 centimeters difference in height between me and my wife. So what I'd prefer is to have maximum tilt. So I've actually just angled it towards the driver's seat. So so I've got that maximum tilt towards me. There's space to do it on my dashboard. So yeah, it seems to be all fine. It's stuck in there really, really well. But these little latches here, so in the back of you can see in the back here, it's got these things. It just sits, right? So it's not actually, if I can see if I can do it now. It's just, basically it just comes off and on like this. So it's gonna be interesting to see, like if you hit a big speed bump, this thing could just totally just go, just fly off. There's nothing locking it on there as far as I can tell. It's just, you basically just put it in and it slots down to the holes, and it's the weight that holds it on rather than a clip or anything. So that's something I'm a little bit worried about as we go on. You can see here the Stezza that we're trying to supersede. It's definitely going to do that. The cable, so here's about 12 volt here. Excuse the mess in the car, but I've got 3 kids. Oh, that's the old one. This cable is super long. It's a lot of extra cable there. There's going to be, I guess it's good if you're running it out of the back 12 volt, but the vast majority of 12 volts are just here. So it's only going that far. So there seems like way too much cable here. I'd much more prefer it if you could actually if this was just a USB-C down here and you could just change the cable length if you needed to whatever suits your needs, as well as changing this over, because I could have put something like this in and just run, with 2 charging ports on it. Yeah, but anyway, that's the way it is. Right, so installation was super simple. I was really happy with the way that worked. So basically when you get to the home screen, which is here, it's just pretty much got your options, like are you going with Apple, are you going with Android, are you linking the phone directly somehow, I guess through a aux cable, how's your audio coming out, or you can Bluetooth music directly to it. It's got a little speaker on it, you can hear it, but it's obviously not that great as not because it's car speakers. So I just went to the audio output, and you've got original Bluetooth, which I think just means it basically cuts this out and just your phone just goes straight to the Bluetooth. FM transmitter, auxiliary, or the local horn, which is actually just the speakers that are inside it, right? So I clicked FM transmitter, set a frequency, and then just tune the radio to that frequency, and she's working fine. So yeah, I can't just play too much of that, otherwise I'll get smashed with some sort of copyright infringement. But anyway, yeah, so I was really happy with how well it connected. It was really straightforward. It was just, the Bluetooth worked instantly. I just paired the device with my phone, and so off we go. And then obviously, once you've done that, you can just go in here, and you've got your, you know, everything as you would expect from a normal screen. It's got a, oh yeah, so you can get your library in there. Move around, it doesn't seem too bad. Let's do a search for Sydney. So yeah, Sydney Aquarium. Let's go to Sydney Aquarium. Boom, start. $3.30 in tolls, off we go. Wow, that's a pretty big upgrade from that. I'm pretty stoked, to be honest. That's done well. Over here we've got, so we can go to our apps. So we've got maps, as you can see. You've got ABC Listen on here, so you can do some podcasts. You can do your phone calls. Spotify. We don't actually use our voice for anything. YouTube Music, I can see. Waze. Yeah, so pretty good. Or you can just go straight into Spotify. Showing the maps. And there is a far away mic on this, so you should just be able to use this, but it won't recognise my voice because it's my wife's phone and car. Yeah, so pretty happy with how that's all connected. So now it's just a case of what happens to the screen when you're driving over bumps. It's pretty steady. I must take a bigger bump than I thought. Fire race a little bit, but it's pretty smooth really. Okay, let's talk through some of the other settings. So as well as this kind of top 5, you can just swipe to the side here. That's where you can access your SD card, rear camera if you have one of those set up, and then there's also a setup, which has various settings, including an equalizer setting, display settings, basic setup, which mostly seems to be around the reversing camera. What wallpaper you want to see on the background, you can factory reset it as well. Now, one of the things to note is that the speaker on the actual device itself, yeah, it's not amazing, but it does give you something. So if your speaker system itself isn't working in your car, that is a solution as well. And then also you can scroll down, and that's going to give access to brightness, the volume of that speaker that's in the actual device, as well as a quick jump to the equalizer and the setup button. So that's what you got access to. So I'll talk through some of my test results. Look, driving around, this will vibrate a bit like that, you know, depending on the road you're on. But otherwise it's pretty good. Even when we went off-road a little bit, hit some speed bumps at speed, I was expecting to see this maybe even drop off its hinge or just kind of be unviewable. It was actually all right, it wasn't too bad. So that was a fear I had because it's not kind of built in to the deck. I thought maybe that's going to create some problems, but it was actually okay, so that's good. Now I did also try just kind of bypassing this altogether and just using my existing kind of 12 volt. And then what happened was that basically as soon as I powered it through a different 12 volt, I lost the FM transmitter. So it would still turn on, but none of the audio would play. It was bizarre. And then when I put this back in and powered it off its own thing directly, it all worked perfectly again. So yeah, so the idea that I had, which was basically maybe I can just use my existing one of these and use one of the ports to power the device and the other port to power my phone, didn't work because the audio stopped working as soon as I did that. So bizarre. And I also had some kind of curious, Bluetooth connection issues. Like just when I could get the phone to work. So I've tried calling, my wife and I have tried speaking through it. And when we were both sitting in the car, it worked fine through the speakers. When I was in the house and she was in the car, it wouldn't work through the speakers. When she took off down the road and drove, we could speak fine. So yeah, the mic isn't amazing. It isn't, you can hear it, it's okay. It's a little bit, it's just not a high quality mic, but it works. It's workable, but it's not crystal clear, that's for sure. But I think the Bluetooth in it is just not a high grade Bluetooth, and it just seems to have some, at times, connectivity issues where it just seems to get confused or gets overloaded or can't quite get the signal that it wants. So yeah, most of the time it seems to be okay, but there's just a few instances I've come across that I cannot find a reason for it, where that it just won't pass, like they can hear you, but you can't hear them through the car speakers. It's almost like so you have the perfect storm. Basically, you can't have this thing still connected to your phone and this thing connected to your phone at the same time. You have to completely forget this, otherwise the audio won't work at all. So it just took a little bit of trial and error to get that side of things to work, so the phone calls would walk through the speakers, even though the music and the Apple CarPlay side of things came straight through the speakers instantly through the FM transmitter. So yeah, really, really interesting. Obviously you can bypass all that just by using an auxiliary cable, but it depends on your car. This does not have an auxiliary cable spot up here. It's down here, and that becomes unfunctional because then you've got to have a cable kind of, going past here, and I don't rate that from it's unsafe. It gets tangled when you really don't want it to get tangled. Righto, so what's my final verdict then on the Uniden iGo Play 10 Plus, replacement headset unit or alternative headset unit for your car? Look, it's done the job that I wanted it to do. The job I wanted to do was to get us off this old broken car stereo that we have in this old car and to get a bit of a modern touch without a huge investment. You can pick these things up for under $200 and all of a sudden you've got a smart screen experience. You've got that experience of having your map in front of you, being able to answer and phone calls and talk phone calls and talk to your contacts, be able to have voice commands and be able to play Spotify, Apple Music, whatever it tends to be. That kind of side of things, it absolutely did do that task. But I do still think it's a significant investment, even though it's not as much as changing the whole head unit, getting it installed and getting new speakers and that kind of aspect of really pumping up your stereo. It's still a distinct expense. And I think for the money, I just would have liked a little bit more flexibility. I really would have liked to have been able to power my phone and the device at the same time through the 12 volts. So I think that having a USB-C power pass through on the 12 volt would have been a really good move. It would have really added something. I also think having a bit more flexibility in that tilt, just having it to be able to kind of move another 3 or 4 degrees in every direction, just a bit more flexibility, especially with drivers at different heights, also would have been welcomed. And just a little bit more. Maybe I don't know what it's using. Like, is it using the latest Bluetooth? Is it not using the latest Bluetooth? It's a bit more strength there in the way that the signals connect. I think also could have just taken it up another level. But the reality is it has solved our need. The cable's a bit long. I think I spoke about this at the start, but it would have been nice if that cable wasn't a hard attach. If it was something that I could pull out and choose a shorter cable if I wanted to, because I've got all this slack, which I'll find a way of dealing with, but it's just a lot of slack, So just a few little pieces like that where it could just be a little bit more user friendly, but for the base task that I've asked it to do, it is doing it. And therefore, as a result, I'm pretty happy to recommend this, to give it a go. If, like us, you've got a car that just isn't up to the modern needs that you want. Anyway, I'm Chris Dead. Thank you very much for watching. Make sure you keep an eye on our channel. Always cool reviews going up. And yeah, that's my final thoughts on the Uniden iGo Play 10 Plus. Yeah, thumbs up overall. All right, till next time, check you later.